folks. Today we're in Phnom Penh, Cambodia. And by we, I mean me. It's just me. I'm alone. Now, what do you know about Phnom Penh? Probably a lot, right? But did you know that it's the birthplace of banana bread and still manufactures most of the world's banana bread to this very day? Okay, well, that's not true. But wouldn't that be cool? No, Phnom Penh is a city of 1.5 million located on, yes, the banks of the Mekong River. Folks, what's with this river? Popular thing to be located on the banks of. It's Cambodia's largest city and it's the capital. Earlier in the week, I was in Siem Reap. That's where all the big temples are. And in a minute, I'm going to call old Kevin there and we're going to talk about it. This is not an infomercial for a blender. It's a podcast. And the name of the podcast is Bad Travel Podcast.
It's like 2 liters of water.
It's such a big bottle of water, and I drink half of it. So now, it bends.
Yeah, it looks like the
floppy
Titanic
bottle.
right before it breaks in half. It's like it can't even fit in the frame on my laptop. That's how when you took the drink, it was just completely out.
It's really grotesque, but I think if I drink like one of these a day, like I'm set for water. It's 35 cents. I'm trying to save a little bit more money, but like I'm really shitty at it, so it's not working super well.
Oh yeah, I tried meal prepping for like a week or a day, and I made like some food.
You made 9 meals. You ate the first one, and you were like, I don't want to eat 8 more of these.
Yeah, it was like this was okay. I don't know if I want to eat this every day.
Well, the kind of meals that you can prep in advance aren't good, so that's a problem. Even though it's like it's like really scientific. Like, got a bunch of protein. I got my carbs. I got and then you eat it, and you're like, oh yeah, I forgot that when I put things in my mouth, my tongue tells me how they taste. So it's kind of a problem. There's something about meal prepping that like depresses me. When I see
dude.
There's like Reddits about meal prepping and they have like, oh look, I made my meal for the next 14 days. It's like, that's so fucking sad. Imagine having a coworker and they just bring in the same shit every day. You'd probably want to beat the shit out of them.
I worked with a dude. Every day he would bring in a turkey sandwich with nothing on it. It was just turkey on bread, and that's just what he ate every single day. And I was just looking at him every time he did it, and I was like, if you did that to me, I would tell you anything. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I would tell you anything.
You're in a self-made prison of food.
Yeah. Because food is like one of the humanistic joys of life. And when you're sitting there and you have like a kitchen scale and you're like, I've got this much quinoa and this much broccoli and this much chicken breast. And it's like, oh, I forgot I need to put more fat. Better dump olive oil on it. It's like, okay, but you've like literally you just drink Soylent. It's easier. It's just as boring and awful. And it's the same effect. You'll get
it's just as nerdy.
Yeah.
At least what kind of hell are you in when you wake up and you go to your job and your only break, you have to eat your shitty thing that you made 9 days ago. It's fucking wet. It's like starting to break down. There's just juice accumulating in it. It's like forming new flavors because things are intermingling. It stinks.
Yeah.
Why can't you just wake up and be like, oh, I want cheese today. I'll get a cheeseburger.
Yeah.
No, I have to eat my fucking bowl of slop or my unflavored grilled chicken breast with a side of 1 tomato.
Yeah. It's like, but I drew a smiley face and cottage cheese on the tomato, so it gives me a little bit of whimsy.
Yeah. The cottage cheese has like melted a little bit, and now it looks like a person having a seizure.
Yeah, the curds have fallen off completely. It just looks like a gross mess. But yeah, it's like you make it. The first time you make it, you make the 9 containers. It's like this sense of accomplishment, and you're like, hell yeah. But like, you start breaking it down, and every single one you pull out, you're getting closer and closer to realization that I've ruined the food. Like I've literally robbed all joy from my life. Every single one you pull out, the first one's good, but the last one, it's like I don't know what I'm doing. And and me, I usually last one day. Like if I have something like 2 days in a row, I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. You know what I mean? Like something's lost. So usually like
Yeah.
the second day I'm like, I just fuck it, just give me a food truck, give me ramen, something. Like, I can't do this.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's the thing is like if you keep like, oh, I'm going to eat this healthy meal every day, but it's the same meal. After day 2, it's like, well, now I'm going to eat an entire fucking pizza cuz I hate this.
Yeah, you
Like
just
it defeats the purpose. You end up like binging on shitty food because you're like, I just need to clean the quinoa out of my system. It's
No, man,
poisoning me. It's poisoning my mind and it's
it's-
poisoning my soul.
It's true, but you don't even have to. That's what's so crazy about cooking is like you don't have to try that hard. You make enough dishes and you realize like, okay, first a little bit of fat, some type of oil, butter, whatever. Good. Next, onions, garlic. Great. Okay, I got a base. Next, put fucking meat in it. Great. Okay, it's cooked. Great. Put some water in it, make a sauce. Dump that chicken shit on top of rice or quinoa. Dump the sauce on it. Eat it. It's so simple, but it's like you have to like
Yeah.
make it really weird. Do you know what I mean? And I don't know, it's like frustrating to see it. It's like people eating just like steamed broccoli, and they're like, yes. And it's all meta game. It's like an RPG where people were like, excuse me, +3 to protein, +3 to fat, +7 to carbs, and like you have to like sit there and like do math and shit. And it's
You
just
see
like,
somebody like that and you're just like, excuse me, I think you're depressed.
yeah, well, it's like yeah, and they're like,
I'm
it's
not
like,
asking you. I'm telling you. I see the symptoms. You might not even know you're depressed, but trust me.
Yeah.
I've seen this before. You want to kill yourself.
yeah.
This
It's
is your way
I
of
just
sublimating it.
I just go to like the gym. I just go to the Y dressed as Sigmund Freud. It's like, you hate your mother. Just eating fucking steamed chicken breast. Ugh. It's just bad. Anywho, what's up, man?
Not a lot. As you might know, I'm in Cambodia. I'm in the capital, Phnom Penh, and actually, the power just came back on. We had like a power outage.
Okay.
earlier. And I don't know if it was like this apartment or if it was like this section of town or what.
Mm-hmm.
But for a while, I was just sitting here in the dark. I went across the street and got a sandwich, and I was eating my sandwich in the dark. And now I could have ate it outside in the sunlight, but I didn't. So
You were like, this takes me back to my teenage years, sitting in my room in the dark, eating a
yeah.
old sandwich.
Well, except it's not 3 a.m.
yeah, yeah. That's
I'm not in my boxers watching anime, eating a fried egg sandwich.
That's an outcast teen youth right there. Is gaming your entire day so you can like avoid your parents as long as possible. So you're like, well, if I can watch anime until 5 because that's when they wake up, so then I have to be in bed at 5.
Yeah. Well, then if my mom gets up earlier, she knocks on my door. It's 3 a.m. and she's like, "Have you slept?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah. Well, I just woke up."
Yeah,
I woke
you're
up
fully
really
dressed.
early.
You're
I'm
fully
ready
dressed.
I'm ready for school, Mom.
You're in the second
I'm eating
course.
my egg sandwich and watching some anime to relax because I've already done all my homework.
Mom, I told you I watched the dubs. Now I'm watching the subs. Okay, I'm seeing how they compare.
I'm writing a paper on it for geometry. Yeah.
For all my friends on the internet.
Yeah. When I say writing a paper, I mean forum posts on Game FAQs.
Yeah, right. Of course. Mom, you don't understand. I'm the top mod on this PHPBB message board. Okay.
People respect me. Now, I don't get... This is kind of like having a job, you know. It has actually more responsibility than if I went to work at Dairy Queen like your cousin said they could give me a job. So, at Dairy Queen, I would just be a mindless worker. But here I actually have some power. No, I don't make money yet, but who knows?
Someone will, of course, acknowledge my my brilliant analysis of Sailor Moon and will come knocking.
I think really my biggest misstep in life was just that I didn't spend enough time on the internet being a huge nerd. Because if I had, I probably would have got on Bitcoin and I would be doing great right now.
Yeah.
So I call my mom up and I'm like, you see what happens? You see what happens when you don't give me money to go to video game college? Now I'm poor.
Your mom just has a pile of bitcoins behind her, just like, you know?
Fucking swimming in them, spitting them out of her mouth like Scrooge McDuck.
Yeah, she knew she wanted all the bitcoins for herself. That's why she interrupted your anime time. She knew that you were the mod. She was the other rival mod. She just didn't tell you on the forum.
Oh my god. You're SSJ Inuyasha.
You're the real Kagome 420. It was you this whole time. Good times. So anyway,
Should we talk about Cambodia or should we talk about the real shit? Anime.
my lifelong passion. No, yeah. What's going on in Cambodia aside from the power outages? By the way, what kind of sandwich did you get? Was it just like a sandwich I would recognize, or was it some special sandwich?
You would recognize it. It was like a ham and cheese sandwich. I got it from there's like a fake French bakery kind of across the street. It's like the closest restaurant that's not street food. And so I just got that. Actually, the street food in Cambodia, not so good. It's not Thailand.
Okay. Why is it not good?
Most of it doesn't seem like it's cooked fresh, and it also doesn't look good. And
Okay.
I was told specifically by people like, "Hey, Cambodia, just don't do the street food." So I've eaten lots of Cambodian food, but I go to restaurants. And also it's like, I don't know, why the fuck not? It's like $2 or $3 more to go to a restaurant than it is to eat from a street food stall. It's not that big of a deal.
Okay.
But I mean, Thailand, Vietnam had great street food. People tell me Cambodia doesn't, and they've already been to all these places. Fine, I listen to them.
So what's like the difference between like Cambodian food? Is there like a mark of this is Cambodian food?
Cambodian food seems like it's maybe more mild, I think, than Vietnamese or Thai food.
You mean mild in flavor or mild in spiciness?
Like kind of both.
Okay.
Although, I mean, I was also in Siem Reap earlier in the week, but that place seems to have more like curries and stuff.
Wait, where is Siem Reap? What is that? That's a town in Cambodia?
Yeah, well, that's like where the Angkor Wat is, like
Okay.
the entire like all the temples. That's yeah, it's in the northwest.
Sounds like it's kind of like Cambodian food's kind of okay. in
It's
comparison.
fine. Like I don't know. I didn't fall in love with it.
Yeah.
It's probably of the 4 countries I've been to, it's the least interesting and least good in food. Not bad, but just like, it's fine. I'm not mad. I mean, I don't know.
Derek, calm down, okay? It's just
I don't care. But at the same time, this morning when I went to the fake French bakery to get a sandwich, I wasn't like, oh no, I'm not eating Cambodian breakfast. I was like, cool, a sandwich.
Do you think it's because you've traveled in Southeast Asia so long that some of the foods become, I don't know, routine-ish?
No. I think,
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I feel like my palate's been pretty refined, and now I can like detect the difference between different broths and different kinds of noodles, and like that's where my head is. Okay, I'm immersed in this shit. So when I say Cambodian food is less interesting, I don't think it's just like that's like a result of me spending more time in Southeast Asia, and I'm like, fuck, I'm over it. The novelty's worn off. No, I think if anything, my opinion should be respected more.
Yeah. So what'd you do in Cambodia aside from eat?
I did go to a boxing match.
Okay.
So like when I was in Thailand, there was this thing like Thai boxing, Muay Thai boxing, and I didn't go to it in Chiang Mai. I just totally like fucked up. I shit the bed on that. And when I got to Laos, I was like, fuck, I missed my big chance. But then I kind of did some Googling, and it turns out in Phnom Penh they have not Thai boxing, but they have Cambodian boxing. And from just reading about it, it seems like it's the same, basically. They punch and they kick also. You got both things. So to me, it's the same. So the other day, I went to CTN, the Cambodian television network. As you arrive, they have like a bunch of like food stalls set up outside. There's a ton of people like walking in. I actually got there too early the first time I went there, and I was like, when's the show? And the guy said, oh, the show starts at 6. And when I got back there at 6, the boxing match, I guess, had already been going on. They filmed 2 shows, so there's like a stage on the right and there's a stage on the left. And in the left stage, they have like a singing competition, and that was the show that was starting at 6. So the security guard out front actually told me like, yeah, that's the show. That's the show that's starting at 6. He thought I wanted to see the singing competition. I mean, I'm sure it was good, but no, I want to see boxing. I don't know what about me, like, why did he think I wanted to see a Cambodian singing competition.
Yeah, you just like
I
yeah,
was
you just
I
push
was
your
wearing my
glasses up.
I was wearing my I Like Violence T-shirt.
Yeah, you have to have a white Hurley cap that you've turned around backwards and a tap out T-shirt.
But I went into the the boxing arena. It was like fucking packed. They had like there's bleachers on 3 sides, and the 4th side is like where the boxers come out at, and you know they have like a booth with announcers. There's cameras sweeping around. There's music playing like the entire time, and I never like saw boxing in the United States, so I don't know how it compares. So my like take on this might be shitty because I think it's all very interesting. When I got in there, there was only like standing room, so I kind of had to like worm my way up to be closer to the ring. And there were already some dudes fighting, and the entire time they're fighting. And again, I don't know if this is in all boxing, but I don't think so. I think this might be a Cambodian thing. The entire time they're fighting, there's like this drum loop playing, and like there's like fighting music. It's like, but not like Mortal Kombat theme fighting music. It's like boom ba boom ba boom ba boom ba boom ba. And but there's also a flute on top to make it annoying. So it's like and it's just a loop. At first I thought it was like maybe live music and they were going to the tempo of the fight or something. That would have been really cool. But then I saw it was just a DJ who was like watching the fight with his finger over like a stop button, like
Just imagine it's like the Tekken 3 soundtrack.
oh, that would fucking rule.
Yeah.
But normal boxing matches don't just have like music going the whole time, right? It's like quiet.
Yeah, it's like because you have to hear calls from like I think the table and then the ref and then there's a fight going on, so people are trying to focus on like the hits.
Well, even the WWE, which is all like, pomp and circumstance, doesn't have music playing during the fights. They have intro music, but they don't have music going during the fight.
Pomp and circumstance. That's a really good way to describe WWE. Oh, I do declare, Mr. Austin, I could not possibly engage you at this moment.
That's a good impression of Kane.
Yeah. I have to ask, do you smell what I'm cooking?
Interesting thing about these fights in Phnom Penh. So there's a guy wearing red trunks and there's a guy wearing blue trunks.
Oh, nice. It's like Rock'em Sock'em Robots.
Well, I'm not done. There's more.
Oh.
I wasn't just going to talk about the color of the trunks, but it's what the trunks signify. So like they had a big screen and it showed like the 2 guys, their pictures, they're posing. One of them, the red trunks guy, Cambodian. Blue trunks guy, not Cambodian, he's Thai. And so all the matches that night were like Cambodia guy versus Thai guy.
Oh, nice. It's got that nationalist bent going on.
Oh, yeah, you want that. And, for me as an outsider, it's like,
You've got your American flag. You're like, USA.
I would love if a guy who looked like Johnny Bravo got in the ring. And,
just in a fat Elvis outfit. Just like, let's do this.
They should have brought out just a fat guy eating a cheeseburger, and both of them just wail on him. And then the screens like flash to an American flag burning. It's like defeated.
KO.
That would be badass.
Yeah.
But it was cool because it's like, oh, I do get to see Muay Thai boxing from one of the guys. From the other guy, I get to see Cambodian boxing. And they're the same. They look the same. Again, I mean, punching and kicking. I think Cambodian boxing is supposed to like use elbows more. Like that's why I read on Wikipedia.
Yeah.
But like,
I like to imagine you were like, you had your laptop and you were wikiing during the fight.
Yeah, well, I wasn't watching the fight. I was just listening to the drum loop.
Was were the
reading Wikipedia?
were the fighters like, so like I guess different sports I think, or different like different fighting styles, they lend themselves to different body types? Because I feel like judo guys are always like blocky and like hulky. Were these guys like wiry or?
They're kind of wiry. They were lean but muscular. They weren't big meaty guys. They weren't bulky. I mean, because they gotta do the kicks, right?
Yeah.
I think that's why they gotta be kind of slim. You can't really fucking kick a guy in the face if you're top heavy. Can you?
Probably not, no. Because if you're like stocky, I feel like you're mainly going to be punching, right? I feel like because like it always feels like you can't be like just stocky. You always are like kind of like you have like upper body. Like every young suburban lad, I did taekwondo for like a few weeks, and I always found kicking a weird fighting methodology because it's like, all right, I'm about to throw off my center of gravity to hopefully hit you, but if you catch my leg, I'm fucked. You know what I mean?
Well, that's why I use projectile weapons, arrows, boomerang, just anything from Legend of Zelda.
I would take my holographic Pokemon cards and gotta fling them, because those always had more heft.
Oh yeah, you give them a paper cut in the corner of their eye. Shit, it'll sting.
Yeah. Well, also if they saw my holographic cards, they'd fear and respect me too. This guy's got.
Is that a first edition Zapdos?
Don't fuck with this guy. How was a fight won? Is it just when someone's on the ground for 10 seconds or whatever, or is there like?
It's just whoever can perform the first fatality. They win. No, it's like boxing. So like most of the matches had 3 rounds. They'd score the rounds, I guess, and then somebody would win. And most of the time.
So what was the makeup of the crowd? You like based off like cheering? Like would you say there's probably more Cambodian people there, right, than Thai?
I think it was all Cambodian people. I don't think anyone's like traveling from Thailand for this stuff because it's like they do these matches every week, and I think sometimes 4 or 5 nights of the week they'll be having fights. It's just like a common thing, and it was free. Like people were just walking in off the street.
Okay.
Because I mean it's televised. I mean the crowd was really into it. It was like the crowd was in it like sort of in a general sense. Like they just like fighting, They weren't like upset when the Thai guy was wailing on the Cambodian guy. They're like, cool, a guy's wailing on a guy. So it was like it was a very like supportive crowd. A guy would hit a guy and the whole crowd would be like, oh, all at once. So it was cool the entire time they're fighting. It's like, ow, ow, ow.
Yeah.
They have like intro music when they come out. It's kind of like WWE. So like the DJ is there and he's like scratching over the song for some reason. Like one guy came out to like just a normal like alt rock song, and the DJ was like, it's like, dude, I know you don't have anything to do except play the drum loop, but stop acting like you're important. Whenever I see a DJ now and he's doing that kind of shit, I just think he was probably like in a nu metal band in 2002. And he thought it was never going to end. He thought the gravy train was just going to keep on rolling.
I'm just imagining it's like, black hole, sus, 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 sus.
Well, that's the thing that was annoying was that the scratching wasn't on the song itself. It was just over it. It was just the scratching of like vinyl.
Oh, so the song would just keep playing.
The song. Yeah, so the song was just playing through and he was scratching over it.
Okay.
So it was just totally pointless.
Was the crowd digging it?
No.
Oh, okay.
I would love to see him get in the ring.
Now, everybody, we get to fight the DJ. He's like fucking like Master Roshi. He just like bulks up. This huge dude. Sorry, I just really like Dragon Ball.
Yeah, Dragon Ball was good. It's probably better than Dragon Ball Z.
Oh, absolutely. Like Dragon Ball is like well written,
Well, Dragon Ball has an actual like story, whereas like Dragon Ball Z, like they can already go across the entire universe in the blink of an eye. So the only challenge is like if some guy's stronger than them, and that's not even that interesting because then it's like, well, how do they beat someone stronger than you? You just get stronger. You beat him.
Yeah.
And it just happens like 5 or 6 times in a row over the course of like 900 episodes, and you're like, I don't give a fuck.
It's true. Like I was watching, I think I saw a clip from like the latest Dragon Ball. It's like it's Dragon Ball Super or whatever. And it was like they had to like turn into like call it like a Super Saiyan God, and it was like
that just means he has like blue hair or something, right?
Yeah, he just turned all red, and they asked like Shinron. They like got the Dragon Balls, which now it's like routine, right? They just have them all the time. They're just like, oh, I guess I can summon Shinron and make a wish or whatever.
Yeah, well, like when the Dragon Balls scatter, they just fly up in the air and catch them.
Yeah, right. They just have a big net around when they scatter.
Shinron is basically their slave.
Yeah, it's true. It's like Dragon Ball was just such a harrowing thing because they had to keep like seeing all these people that would have the Dragon Ball and trick them or beat them or whatever, and now it's just so routine. But they were like, Shinran, how do we become a Super Saiyan God? And Shinran was like, when 5 Saiyans who are really good friends stand in a circle and hold. I'm not kidding. That's what he did. And hold hands. Yes, you can see it on. It's on YouTube. It's like then those 5 good friends, one of them will become a Super Saiyan God. And then he leaves, and they're like, okay, and they all stand in a circle, hold hands, and then Goku becomes a Super Saiyan God. I was just like, who's writing this?
That would only be cool if there were like 15 episodes where they had to become good friends first, and they did it by having like sleepovers and going to the zoo.
Yeah, it's like Sex in the City, but with
secrets.
like Vegeta and Goku.
I would watch that. I remember, I think it was at Lewis and Clark Community College. I saw 2 guys on the quad who were both wearing like silk screen, like the button up.
Yeah, the ones that have like a dragon and a tiger and like fighting over an orb on it.
Yeah. So they were both wearing those, and I saw them do the fusion dance. And the reason I kept watching is because I was like, what if it worked?
And you interrupted. You're like, excuse me, professor. I had a question on the on the homework. Not now, Derek. I'm trying to do the fusion dance.
I would love to see 2 guys with like patchy facial hair, balding at 19, wireframe glasses, and they do the fusion dance and just become the same person.
They just have to share the silkscreen shirt. You get like an extra large, and both their heads are sticking out of the neck.
But anyway, so Cambodian boxing, it's cool. I like it. It's entertaining.
Do you like watching like fighting stuff? Are you into that? Because I know you said you used to wrestle in middle school. I didn't know if that was like something you chose to do because you're interested in it, or
It's because I had a violence within me. No, I'm not super into watching. Like UFC to me is really boring because they're just grappling the whole time, and it's just like.
Oh yeah.
Whereas this was cool because once they start grappling, the ref steps in and he's like, no, you have to hit each other in the face. And it's like, that's what I want to see. I want to see people hitting each other in the face. Part of what's interesting about what I just saw was the fact that I was like there, It's different when you're watching it on a tiny screen and there's 2 guys fighting. You might as well be watching a fucking video game,
Yeah.
Because it's so removed. Whereas if you're there in person, you see like the water flying off the guy's head.
Mm-hmm.
Because they pour water on their heads. That wasn't clear. They go to the corner and they pour a bunch of water on their face and bodies, and then they have the dudes that come out and massage their legs.
Because they're kicking so much.
Or just because they want a massage.
Yeah.
I think the massage guy is the most important part of the boxing match.
Yeah.
After he massages the guy's legs and the fight starts again, I run up to the massage guy and I'm like, hey man, great job there.
Good hustle.
I saw your technique.
I also enjoy massages.
Hey, I was just kicking somebody myself. What do you?
So you got like, are you like you freelance or?
How do you get into this exactly? Do you gotta know somebody or just?
That'd be a really funny thing, like movie or whatever. It's just like following the people that massage the fighters, and like every time the fight like starts, they just cut to the guy massaging them.
The massage guy's wife is like, well, what if I gave you a massage for once? And he's like, hell no. Wouldn't
There's
be
only
right.
one massager. There's only one massager in this house.
I don't get massages. You think I'm happy about it? That's just the way it's gotta be, damn it. Doreen.
Doreen.
His eyes are full of tears. I'm the one who massages. I ain't getting no massages.
It's over. Don't you get it? My hands are too callous. People don't like it anymore.
He holds up his hands and they're just all like bent and fucking fractured. I can't massage no more.
Sits down at the end of his bed. She like sits down like next to him. Is like, you gotta go out there. You gotta show him that you're the best at massaging. Summer.
He's like taping his hands and shit. He's like mentoring a young massager. Yeah, kid, enjoy it. Enjoy it. Because you know what? By the time you're 35, that's it. You're out of the game. And then what? You know what? Most of us kill ourselves. Because we ain't got no purpose in life. The only reason I haven't done it is because of you, kid. Because I'm looking at you. And you remind me.
You start strong. You think you can massage just the best fighters in the world, and they kick you out of pennies because you're massaging the mannequins.
The last massage you give is yourself to your own neck. Oh, but one of the fights was really interesting. There was this one fight, and I was watching. It was a little bit boring because they weren't really hitting each other. You know, they were just sort of dancing, like they were moving their feet a lot, and like, in the Cambodian boxing, like the entire time before they punch, they're kind of like bouncing up and down. It kind of looks like, you know, a Street Fighter 2 game where they're just like bouncing. They're bouncing, bouncing, but they're not hitting or anything. They're just kind of waiting to see who's going to hit. And that match was really boring. But the next match, it was this guy from is this Thailand guy. As soon as he got in the ring, he just started going like nuts. It was like so fucking cool because they like rung the bell and he just like kind of instead of like doing the thing where they touch mitts and then they kind of like do the dance for a second and then they like trade blows, they back off. It's like very strategic. This guy just like kind of ran towards the other guy and started like smacking him and hitting him and shit. I was like, holy shit, this guy rules. And but he was like way too enthusiastic because he kept like he would punch for a second and then the Cambodian guy would hit him and then he would grab the Cambodian guy and like try to like put him in a hold and like knee him in the nuts and shit.
Okay.
The referee had to keep breaking him up and he kept saying to him, and I don't speak Cambodian, but I assume he was saying like, hey, stop.
Hey, don't kick him in the crotch.
At one point, got the Cambodian guy in a hold and he like tried to throw him out of the ring. I was like, holy shit. The crowd was like, what? It's like, this guy's like doing a totally different sport. But this was my guy, you know? I'm like, fuck,
Yeah.
I love this guy. Because he's like fighting like he's like fucking a WWE wrestler or something. At one point, he like kneed the other guy in the butt somehow. The ref kept like throwing up points. Like the Thai guy's already lost on a technicality like 2 minutes into the match for sure. You know what I mean? Because he's just racked up so many points, and we're still in round one.
That's awesome.
He keeps. I mean, but the thing is, I don't know why the fuck he's like fighting like this because he is beating the shit out of the Cambodian guy. Like he could win, except he's like, no, I'm not going to play by the rules. You know what I mean?
Yeah, very, very bad technique to not play by the rules in a situation where the rules determine if you win or lose.
Right. So at one point, he grabs the Cambodian guy. You're not supposed to grab people. He grabs the Cambodian guy and he throws him at the ground. The Cambodian guy lands on his back. He hits his head. And then the Thai guy kicks him in the face.
Oh, no, that's just dirty.
At that point, I was like, I am not on this guy's side anymore.
Yeah.
And the whole crowd was like, ah, what the fuck? Everyone was pissed.
Yeah, understandably. Yeah.
Didn't kick him in the head, kicked him in the face, by the way. Like, just the top. I saw, like, his nose and mouth just get moved by the foot. And at that point, the ref was like, okay, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, absolutely. The guy should get, like, the shit kicked out of him. Like, you can't fight like that.
He got DQ'd. And then the Cambodian guy, like, shakily stood up, and they declared him the winner. And he looked really out of it. Like, he just got the shit beat out of him by a guy who, like, I don't know if that guy was even, like, a boxer. Maybe this was his first match ever, and he's just like, I'm going to kill somebody.
That's bad. It's bad when you see someone fighting dirty like that, and, like, you know.
Yeah. Well, at first I was like, I'm on this guy's side because he's really entertaining, you know? And he's trying to throw the guy out of the ring and doing all this wacky shit. And then he kicked the guy in the face, and I was like, oh, man, I don't like this guy anymore.
Yeah, you're like, fuck this guy.
Yeah. Well, but then even though I don't like him, I still kind of like him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's good to have a villain.
Yeah, there was a theatrical element to him, you know.
Yeah.
He was a conduit for everyone's hate.
I think he's cool. The guy who kicks people in their face when they're laying on the ground.
Very admirable figure.
Yeah. And then after that match, there was like a rapper that came out.
No. What?
Yeah. Well, a Cambodian rapper.
Why?
I don't know.
You know?
He did a rap song.
Okay. Was it good?
No.
Oh, okay.
So speaking of the rapper guy, when I was in Phnom Penh, I wanted to see some like Cambodian music, you know?
Oh, man, I love Cambodian music.
Well, yeah, I do too. But I like, you know, the 60s and 70s like Cambodian rock stuff, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I like looked up what live music is going on, and on Friday I went to go see this band, this quartet, and here's the description on the website: playing jazz, contemporary music, and a unique take on classic Khmer songs as jazz tunes. So I was like, oh, this sounds kind of cool, right? This sounds interesting.
Yeah.
And I went to the place. As I was walking up, the soothing, smooth sounds of Maroon 5 came drifting through the air.
That classic Cambodian band, Maroon 5.
It was like this cover band playing like shitty, just American pop music, like Train and shit like that. And the guy just had that like really generic voice. And it was like at this fucking gastropub that looked like it could have just been anywhere. It could have just been like in Iowa City or wherever the fuck, you know. It was just
Yeah.
the lamest venue, the lamest band, and it was just like a huge bummer. I mean, because they would be playing like Maroon 5 or something, and then like there would be a jazz instrumental break. It's like, wow, even shittier. Thanks. This is not like Cambodian music, so I was like really let down.
No Rosary Sothia songs.
So you saw Don't Think I've Forgotten, right? The documentary?
Yeah. I saw that documentary, but I've kind of been listening to that kind of music for a while because I kind of got introduced to it through the band Dengue Fever.
Dingue Fever.
Dingue Fever.
Yeah.
Which is a really good band, and they cover a lot of those songs, so I kind of got into it from that. But yeah, I've seen that documentary.
Those old Cambodian rock songs are really good. You know, part of the thing about that documentary and the whole story about Cambodian rock music is like that's sort of lost to history because a lot of the people that made that music were killed.
Yeah.
And I don't know why, but I kind of assumed or like just hoped that when I was here, I would be able to find bands that were still kind of doing the thing, or even like a more modern version of that thing. But like, doesn't really seem like that's the case. Doesn't seem like there's like a strong new music scene here, which is like really upsetting.
I feel like that's the general trend in music in general, like especially with these like streaming services. Everyone's just trying to like get like some type of catchy song, and you've got this like such. I mean, there's always good music, but it's like
you sounded like an old man.
Yeah, you say Justin Bieber, I say Pink Floyd. You say whatever. Yeah, but all pop music has gotten so. Even pop music has gotten bad. Like if you compare like, I don't know, like Thriller to anything that's come out in the last 5 years in pop music, it's just not that good.
I'll have to take your word for it because I haven't really listened to a lot of pop music. I only just recently heard those fucking, you know, Ed Sheeran. I'm not really sure how to say his name. Do you know that guy?
Yeah.
Okay, so that guy has like a couple songs that are like, from what I understand, very popular, but I didn't hear them at all until I was in Vietnam. And then in Vietnam, they were fucking everywhere. Like every restaurant I was in played that shitty Shape of You song. It like drove me nuts. Like because it would literally be like I would be in a restaurant, I'd be eating, and that song would play like 3 times during the course of a half hour. I would leave the restaurant and I would go to like 7-Eleven or something, and it would be playing there. It's like, what the fuck is going on? Like, is this like a CIA psyop or something? There's some, like, I swear.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Is it like, I haven't listened to much Ed Sheeran. Is it like really breathy and guitar-y and slow?
Oh, it's just
Is
like
that
the
kind of style?
corniest shit. But no, it's just like pop music. I don't know. So I watched that documentary about Cambodian rock music. Don't Think I've Forgotten. A couple days ago. And
did you like it?
Yeah.
Okay.
The music was good. The story is like really interesting. And the thing about Cambodian rock music of that era was that it was cool because they said it was mostly influenced by French pop music and like Brazilian music. And they were just getting those two things at the same time and kind of fusing them along with like, you know, traditional Cambodian like style.
Yeah.
So it came out, you know, that old Cambodian music is like really unique. I mean, it's of a certain time and place. I think anybody still playing it today would definitely, you know, they'd be like a throwback band or whatever.
Yeah.
It's still sad that tradition or whatever doesn't seem like it's still around as much.
Well, there was that, you know, thing that disrupted Cambodian society. I don't know if you've...
Now, when you say
I don't know.
disrupt, I assume you mean like in the San Francisco type.
Yeah.
There was like a huge
Yeah.
app.
There was some type of app.
There's
yeah.
a
But, like,
Facebook level app.
yeah, it's cool, man. I like things like that where you take many different influences, and they're all good too. Like that's the thing, because even French pop music at the time was very good because you
Yeah.
had Franz Gall and like all these other artists.
Right. Well, and now French pop music pretty much sucks.
Yeah, it's bad.
It's really
It's like
hokey.
all other pop music. Yeah.
What the fuck happened to French pop music? Nothing like leveled society in France, but their music still sucks. So what's the deal?
It's still not as cynical and bad as American pop music, I would say.
Yeah.
They
Well, what
imitate-
about K-pop? No, they're doing interesting things.
Oh man.
So what else do I do in Cambodia? Let me think. Earlier in the week, I was in Siem Reap, which is like the old historical, like just on the outskirts of town. There's like all these temples. There's the Angkor Wat, which is like the largest religious monument in the world. So I did.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah. It's
Did you go? Can you go inside of it?
yeah, it's fucking gigantic. It's like a complex. It's like bigger than a college campus.
Oh, okay. Shit.
Yeah, like there's like one huge building, and then you can walk through it, and then there's like a bunch of other buildings and temples. And I did like this bike tour that started at 8 in the morning, and we biked out there, and we made a bunch of stops, but we didn't get back into town until like 5 p.m. So it was a pretty long bike tour.
And that was just all around Angkor Wat?
Yeah, well, I mean, Angkor Wat is like the main temple, but we went to a couple different temples. These temples are so fucking packed. Like Siem Reap gets, I think, over like 2 million visitors a year. The first temple we go to is Angkor Wat. I think it's like a war temple or something because it like there's a bunch of like carvings in the rock of like big battles. So they'll have like a carving and it's like literally like thousands of little guys fighting other thousands of little guys. Like it's like really impressive and cool. And on one side, there's always like the Cambodian army, you know, and they have like their fucking weapons and they're riding elephants and they all look badass and strong. And on the other side, it's like the Thai army. And they're like running away. And our guide is like, and look at their faces. They're crying, you see? They have like little tears carved into them. The whole temple.
Must have been so satisfying for the person carving that. Be like, yeah, make them cry.
Yeah, and they were so fucking sad that we beat them. The whole temple is just shit like that. Do you know what Siem Reap means?
No.
It means Siam defeated. So they named their town like, this is where we beat them. And then they made little carvings of the guys crying. I think that's
Siem Reap means Thailand got owned.
It means Thailand no scope. 360 no scope. We were biking through like sort of the less popular temples, and we went to this one that was sort of like in the wood or like in the jungle, I guess. Near that one, there were some like monkeys hanging out, which I'd never seen like a monkey in real life that wasn't like in a cage.
I feel like it'd be weird to be in a place with like animals that are that smart and dexterous, because I feel like I would never be able to put anything down because they'd just take it.
Dude,
you know what I mean?
It was really interesting because there were some like water bottles, and one of the monkeys grabbed the water bottle and started drinking out of it. And I was like, holy shit.
He stole my water bottle. Did he actually screw the lid off?
Okay, no, so here's the thing. He drank out of one water bottle that already had the lid off, and I was like, God damn, this monkey's really smart. And then there was another water bottle that he grabbed, and the lid was on it, and instead of like twisting off the lid, he just banged the water bottle on a rock until there was a hole in the bottom and drink it that way. And I was like, he's not that smart.
You were like, we're so alike.
There's this British guy on the bike tour, and he had some bananas with him, and he gave the monkey a banana. And it was like fascinating just to see the monkey like run up to the guy, grab the banana, snatch it, and then like peel it and then eat it, you know? Just interesting to watch his little hands at work. As the monkey was eating the banana, he went to like go touch the monkey's head and like pet him. And the monkey was like, "Ah!" And he like fucking hissed at him and like threw his hands up. It's like, yeah, dipshit, you don't touch a fucking monkey on the head. You think
It's a wild animal.
Well,
That's what I would do.
he thinks you're trying to rip his head off.
Yeah, it's still a wild animal. I think people, it's like because they're like cute and they like eat like, you know, bananas like we do and shit. It's like there's like, you know, like at Yellowstone when like people try to pet like the bison, you know.
No, I
and then
never
they end
heard
up
of this.
getting
People try
gored.
to pet the bison.
Yes, there are signs all over Yellowstone. It's like, do not touch the wildlife, but people think it's like not wildlife, so they'll get out of their cars and try to like pet them, and they'll end up getting gored and trampled and shit.
I think the same thing happens with moose, right? Because we don't really have moose in the United States, but people go to Canada and they see a moose and they're like, cool, let's put our baby on it, get a picture.
Yes. I forgot the stroller. What if I just put the child on top of this moose?
I think Rocky
It's
and
fine.
Bullwinkle has done more damage to society, perhaps any other person or event.
Yeah, I think.
It whitewashed the moose facts. You know, the fact about moose is that they're dangerous and evil, but Bullwinkle is a fool. And then there's the Natasha and what's his face?
Boris and Natasha.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good old Cold War propaganda. They just slipped into that show.
The tour guide of the bike tour thing kept like hyping up like the last temple we were going to, because he was like, yeah, you're really gonna like this one because it's like the Tomb Raider temple. And everyone on the tour was like, oh yeah, the Tomb Raider temple, we just watched that the other night because I guess there was a temple in Tomb Raider, and it used to be like an unpopular temple, but ever since being in the movie Tomb Raider starring Angelina Jolie, it got really popular and lots of tourists go there. And it looked fine, but it was kind of weird to me that like, wait, so this ancient temple, people are going to it because it was like in a shitty movie?
I guess it'd be like a nice addition, you know? Like, it's like, oh, I saw Angkor Wat, which is like really nice. I'll go see the Tomb Raider.
It's just lame that I go somewhere and then it's like, Hollywood, baby. Who gives a fuck? You know? That's the one temple where it's like, I could have skipped this because we didn't even talk about like the first temple, Angkor Wat. They were talking about like the wars and stuff, and the second temple was like these are the daily lives of the Cambodian people. You know, there were like figures, there were like drawings of guys making fish and bread and shit, and it's like, oh, that's cool. And the third one was like, yeah, Angelina Jolie was here. Can you believe it? So what?
Yeah, the fourth temple, Ron Howard visited it. So
The fifth temple is just Hard Rock Cafe.
was it the one where Angelina Jolie like rappelled down that vine? You know what I mean? Do you have you?
She does that in
is that
every
the one?
movie.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's true.
I did watch that movie. I think I was like 12 or something. I watched it with my dad. The only thing I remember about that movie is that I got like a painful boner the entire time because I was very young. Couldn't focus on the story, you know. That's the day I
Right.
found out I was attracted to caves. So Siem Reap is like kind of interesting because there's lots and lots of tourists there. They got all this stupid tourist shit, you know? Like they have like t-shirt stalls, and here's the t-shirts I saw. I saw a Bob Marley shirt. I just saw
Nice.
a Che shirt, and I saw a Anarchy symbol shirt. And I just think it's really funny to be like traveling and you see a Bob Marley shirt. How the fuck do you see a Bob Marley shirt in Cambodia and you're like, oh, I'm going to buy that because I don't have one? How did you not buy that at like Spencer's?
Yeah.
If you're the
Yeah, I
kind of
just went-
person that wants a Bob Marley shirt, how do you just not already have one? How do you get to Cambodia before you get one?
You went to Cambodia? What did you get? Well, I got this Bob Marley T-shirt and this black light poster. Cool.
Oh, cool. Where'd you get that Bob Marley shirt? Oh, you couldn't tell? Cambodia. There's also a bunch of like pizza places that are like, I don't know if you know about this thing, but they have this in Cambodia. There's this weird thing among backpackers where they'll go get like a weed pizza, like a pizza with weed on it or something.
Marijuana on a pizza.
Yeah. So there's a bunch of pizza
Okay.
places that like specialize in these pizzas. I think it's specifically like a backpacker thing. I don't think this is like a Cambodian traditional delicacy. These are just like shitty pizzas that happen to be like marijuana pizzas.
Yeah, like that. Why? Just why?
Yeah, I had a really great time in Cambodia. I saw the ancient Laura Croft temple, and I got a Tweety Bird T-shirt, and then I ate some pizza and got high. Yeah, so it was like a really spiritual experience.
It'd be cool if they had other kinds of food that weren't weed pizza.
Yeah, if they had a fentanyl pizza,
Ketamine pizza.
black tar heroin pizza.
Can I get a K2 pizza?
Hey, you got that spice bath salt pizza?
Oh man, Clark, how's it going, man? Pretty good. I've been off pizza for 5 years now.
They should have like steroid pizza where you eat the pizza and then you get really strong. You know?
Well, you have to work out too. You can't just eat the pizza.
No, you just eat the pizza. It's like Popeye and his spinach.
You just pop it into the air and it just like goes through your body and blows up your forearms. You're just like, ugh,
But yeah, it's just funny like when you're walking down the street and see them reap, because I wrote down a list of the names of these places. So there's Happy Pizza, there's Happy Herb Pizza, there's Happy Special Pizza, Happy Encore Pizza.
I'm noticing a pattern.
Yeah, and my favorite one, Ecstatic Pizza.
That guy the person that owns that rules because they're like, fuck all
Well,
of
that's
you. I'm
marijuana
going to the
and
next
speed
level.
on that one.
It's just like it's a 2-for-1. Yeah, fuck all of you. I would take melancholy pizza, introspective pizza.
Yeah, you got any
what I
pizza that'll help inhibit reuptake of serotonin? So one thing I did that was interesting and possibly immoral, maybe the most immoral thing I've done while traveling so far. So there's like this North Korean restaurant here called Pyongyang, and it's literally owned and run by the North Korean government. So when I heard about that, I thought, oh my God, I have to go to the North Korean restaurant. So I go there. It's kind of like you have to walk through like this sort of skeevy, dark, unlit area before you get to the restaurant. And so I'm kind of thinking, wow, this is going to be like a really seedy shithole, isn't it? But then I walk in and it's brightly lit. The decor is like kind of quote unquote nice, but weirdly out of time. It almost looks like a set from like fucking Twin Peaks or some shit. It looks like what a nice restaurant might look like in 1982.
Yeah, it's like it's in the uncanny valley because it could be
Yeah.
nice, but it's not.
So I walk in and I get greeted by like the host, and I'm a little bit taken aback because she like speaks perfect English. She's like, "Hello, how are you? Just one here, sit over here." And I'm sat at a table like a little bit far back. There's a stage, and on the stage there's like a drum kit, and there are girls walking around taking orders. And the first thing I notice is they're all wearing princess costumes. All the waitresses are wearing like, they look like princesses. It's like bright pink, bright sky blue.
Are you talking
You
about the
know.
dresses that like they have like almost a drawstring halfway up on the sternum? You know what I mean? Because there's a type of like traditional Korean dress that
No,
has,
it's
like,
not those. It's not traditional
that.
Korean. It
Okay.
looks like Disney princess.
Weird.
So one of the princesses comes over. She speaks English. It's kind of weird because, like, you know, I'm an American and stuff. I'm obviously a fucking American. I don't know what I was expecting, but I kind of thought, like, this is stupid. They're waitresses. Of course they're going to be nice. But I was kind of surprised how nice they were. You know what I mean? They didn't, like, spit on me and be like, fuck you, you're American. But also, in my head, I know that's because this is run by the North Korean government. And this is all kind of, like, a put on, right?
Mm-hmm.
The waitress takes my order. I order beef stew and kimchi fried rice. And after I order, I'm kind of like, wow, this is weird. I'm at a North Korean restaurant. This is like, this is the closest I'm going to get to ever going to like actual North Korea. And I thought this was going to be like a big, weird, like a tourist attraction. You know what I mean? Like people go here to see like, oh, this is the North Korean restaurant. I thought I was going to look around and see a bunch of, stupid white guys like me who are there for the weird spectacle of it all. There are no white guys in the restaurant. I'm the only one.
So is it mostly Cambodians there eating?
No Cambodians.
Okay.
I know, because, like Cambodians have like darker skin. All the people in the restaurant are like lighter skinned Asians. So I don't know if they're like Koreans, South Koreans. I assume they're not fucking North Koreans, right? Or if they're Chinese or Japanese tourists or something, but no, they're not Cambodians. They're not tourists. There's not like backpackers there. It's hard to place the clientele, but there is this thing: guys outnumber women like 20-1 at this place. As I notice that, it kind of hits me as the lights start to dim for like the show that they're going to put on, is that this is basically the North Korean restaurant Pyongyang in Cambodia is basically, it's like a maid cafe.
Okay.
It's basically like a kawaii anime princess zone. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because the way, and I didn't catch this at first, because the way they like come up to you and they're like, oh, hi, no, and like, I realized this because it's like fucking all dudes in there. They're all laughing. They're like motioning girls over, like, come here, sweetheart. They're taking pictures with them and shit. This is a maid cafe. Do you know what I mean?
You stumbled into a maid cafe.
But I didn't think the North Korean restaurant would be that kind of place.
Mm-hmm.
And so the lights dim and they start to put on the show. And I kind of thought, oh, this is going to be... What I've read about Pyongyang restaurant in Cambodia is that this is a North Korean propaganda zone that they have here to spread North Korean culture or whatever. No. The lights dim, the music starts. I thought it was going to be like, oh, this is going to be traditional North Korean music. It's not. The first act is like an instrumental synth pop jam from like 1983. It's like a fucking new wave jam with with two North Korean girls. One's on keyboards and the other's on drums. And the girl drumming is like a fucking virtuoso. The first act of the show, she basically just does a drum solo for like 5 minutes with keyboard accompaniment.
Okay. It sounds cool as hell.
I feel bad saying this, but the North Korean government knows how to put on a show. Like, it was entertaining.
Yeah. Was it like a big kit or was it like a traditional size kit? Do you know? Like, or was it like,
Dude, it was like a prog rock kit.
Really serious?
Yeah, they even had the fucking like the sparkly chimes thing.
It's fucking cool as hell.
Yeah, dude, it was insane.
Just imagine like Dream Theater, but with like North Korean women, just like.
It was like that. It was really weird. But also you got to look at the clientele. Like, these are all like guys in their 40s and 50s. This is the kind of music they want to hear.
Mm.
After the first act, all the princess girls that had been our servers get on stage and they basically start doing like a girl pop thing. It sounds sort of like Pat Benatar,
Mm-hmm.
They're playing like triumphant, poppy 80s like workout music, and I'm tapping my toe. It's toe-tappingly fun. It's a good time.
It sounds like you'd recommend the North Korean.
Dude, it's a
restaurant.
hell of a time. There's this thing where like at the end of the second act with all the girls, they all have like bouquets of flowers and they go and they hand them out to the guys. Well, listen, because here's what happens after.
Thanks for being such a good audience member. You really killed it tonight.
There's like more acts, and every act is kind of the same. It'll be like, girl gets on stage with an instrument like a tuba or a flute or a violin, and then they just solo over an instrumental backing. And then at the end of it, guys from the audience, whoever they think had like the best act, they'll go up with the bouquet and give the flowers to the girl. So it's kind of like it feels like a talent show or something, and they're awarding points.
It sounds kind of, would you say surreal? Did it feel somewhat like?
You kind of think if I'm going to go to some North Korean event, I expect to feel some dissonance, some like weirdness under the surface. Something's going to feel off about this. And I think just a testament to the production value, it didn't. Everybody was having a good time,
Mm-hmm.
It was, so the thing that was weird was that I couldn't detect the weirdness. Like if this wasn't called Pyongyang restaurant and was just called the Pat Benatar zone or something, and I wandered in off the street, I would think, oh, this is a great place. I mean, the guys are having a great time. They love being surrounded by these women. They're fucking like whistling out to them and shit. At the end of some act, guys will get on the stage and like take a photo with the girls, pose next to them, like, haha, look, I'm with my princess.
Did you get a pic?
No, because here's the thing. All over the place are like signs that are like no cameras, no pictures. When I saw other guys taking pictures, I thought, well, surely I can too. I take out my phone. Turns out no. So I experienced a little bit of discrimination. I think if you're like an American guy, you cannot take pictures.
Damn. That sounds cool, though. It sounds like you had a good time.
Yeah, but isn't that fucked up? I was at a North Korean restaurant. The people are forced to be there. I'm kind of thinking like, what's the point of all this? And I think it might be like a money laundering scheme or something.
The Pyongyang restaurant?
I don't know. I mean, okay, on one hand, it seemed like it was doing pretty good business. But on the other hand, there's this thing about Cambodia, which is that, so Cambodia has its own currency, the riel.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't pay for shit in riel. You pay for shit with US dollars.
At the restaurant?
Everywhere. Everywhere in Cambodia, if you pay for something, they quote you the price in USD. You give them US dollars, and then they give you riel back like it's change. Like instead of giving you pennies, there's no like pennies or quarters. They give you riel.
I was going to ask, do they accept riel too? Or only USD?
Okay, so they accept riel, but I think they prefer USD. Because if you give them $1, that's 4,000 riel. So they would rather just have one bill than like 5 or 6 or 10.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the thing at the North Korean restaurant. I tried to pay with a card, and they're like, no, cash only. Then I went to go grab my reel, and they're like, US dollars, please. So here's what I think. This might be the way that the North Korean government gets US dollars.
Okay, yeah.
Maybe? I don't know. I mean, what the fuck is the point of the place otherwise? To spread 80s girl pop music?
Well, who knows? Maybe. Or maybe it's just to be like, look how cool and fun North Korea is, Is North Korea great?
The thing about this restaurant is I don't believe that this is what North Korea is like. You know what I mean? I don't think it's 1983 in North Korea. But it's an alluring promise. Like, what if it really was like this in North Korea? Yeah, I agree. North Korea would be great. If there wasn't like a bunch of political shit getting in the way, they could probably set up a chain of restaurants and, all throughout the states. This could be like the next TGI Fridays. Or the next Outback Steakhouse. You know what I mean? Like, hello, come on down to the Pyongyang restaurant. Have some kimchi fried rice. Also, the restaurant's pretty expensive for Cambodia. Like, my food was, and I feel bad because, like, this money's going to the North Korean government. It was $15. I can't be like fucking. I can't get in trouble for like somehow financing America's enemies, can I?
Well, I mean, they would never know about it unless you put it on a podcast. You did pay cash.
Well, on that note, got any more questions about Cambodia?
No.
Fair enough. I'll see you in prison.
Derek, it was nice knowing you for this one podcast. We have no previous rapport.